A pregnant woman goes into labor during a family dinner. Her parents refuse to take her seriously because they are obsessed with her sister's wealthy boyfriend and future financial gain. She drives herself to the hospital alone, gives birth, and then emotionally cuts her parents off. They attempt guilt and manipulation, but she chooses her husband, newborn, and chosen family instead. Karma hits the parents and sister, and the protagonist finds peace. The first contraction came like a secret. Sharp, quiet, blooming inside me beneath the chandelier glow over my parents' dining table. My mother arranged her silver cutlery like she was preparing for royalty. My father practiced pride like it was a language only he spoke fluently. Tonight belonged to Tamara. Of course it did. Glitter clung to her dress, each sequin catching the light exactly how she wanted attention to cling to her. And there he sat beside her. Brian, with a startup pedigree and a father who practically breathed money. My parents stared at him like the sun had decided to sit at our table. I pressed a hand to my stomach, breathing slow. 37 weeks. Too early. The ache pulsed again. To the future, my dad said, clinking his glass. To ambition. And smart life choices. Smart life choices. I shifted, the pain returning with more certainty. I whispered, "Mom." She was mid-laugh, wine glass hovering. "I think I am in labor." I swallowed. "I need to go to the hospital." The room paused. Only the grandfather clock continued its slow heartbeat behind us. Then my mother did what she always did when reality did not fit her script. She smiled like I had told a joke that didn't land. "Melinda, darling. Timing. We are in the middle of celebrating something important." My sister smirked, legs crossed, wrist resting on Brian as if she owned both him and the air he breathed. Another contraction curled through me. Stronger. My voice thinned. "I am serious. It is early. I need to go. Now." Dad lifted his hand dismissively. "Sit. Doctors say early labor can take hours. Do not ruin the mood." Ruin the mood. My body begged. My heart burned. I stood, gripping the chair. The chandelier seemed too bright, the walls too close, my pulse too loud. "I am going," I whispered. And no one moved. No chair scraped. No napkin dropped. Not even a token, "Do you need help?" I walked toward the door, breath shallow, legs trembling. The dining room buzzed behind me again. Laughter. Deals. Tomorrow. All of it louder than my pain. Outside, the Texas air wrapped me in heat and night. I leaned against my car door as another contraction hit, biting my lip to keep from crying out. The porch light above me flickered, catching dust and moth wings like tiny sparks. I buckled in, hands shaking, engine rumbling awake. My parents' house stayed glowing behind me like a stage where I no longer belonged. The road stretched long, headlights cutting through Austin's evening haze. Traffic hummed, my breaths counted the seconds between pain. Outside the windshield, city lights looked like stars trying to stay steady. Inside my chest, something cracked quietly. Love. Trust. Whatever belief I had left that I mattered to them. I gripped the wheel tighter. Tonight, I was bringing a life into the world. And I was doing it alone. The hospital doors slid open as if they knew I had no hands free to push anything aside. My body shook. My bag strap slipped down my shoulder. I swallowed a cry, trying to look composed even as pain rolled through me like waves slamming shore. The nurse spotted me instantly. Her brows lifted. "Honey, how far apart are they?" 3 minutes. My voice cracked. "Early. 37 weeks." She did not question me. She took my arm, firm and kind. A kind that felt like oxygen. Within minutes I was in a delivery room, heart monitor beeping steady while mine raced. I texted Scott, breath shaky. "In labor." "They did not help me. Please come." His reply came fast. "On my way." "I am so sorry." "Hold on. Hold on." I pressed my head back, tears fighting to fall. I had always been good at being the quiet one, the reasonable one, the one who didn't make trouble. But pain stripped pride bare. My body tightened again, and a soft cry escaped before I could swallow it. A nurse pressed a cool cloth to my forehead. "You are safe here." Safe. What a strange word. I had never realized how unsafe love could feel. When Scott burst in, tie crooked, fear in his eyes, relief cracked me open. He rushed to my side, hands cupping my face. "You drove yourself?" His voice shook. I nodded, finally letting a tear fall. They would not leave the table. He closed his eyes like he was absorbing the betrayal for me. "You are not alone anymore." Hours blurred. Breathing. Squeezing his hand. Nurses moving with purpose. My heartbeat pounding like a drum calling me somewhere new. Then the moment arrived. Raw. Fierce. Beautiful. Pain and joy tangled. And then he was here. Our son. Warm against my chest. Tiny fingers curling around my skin like he already knew I needed holding. Scott kissed my forehead. "You did it. We did it. Without them." Later, when the room darkened and monitors hummed like soft lullabies, I stared at my sleeping son. His chest rising and falling, his face peaceful. The world felt small and enormous at once. Sacred. Then my phone buzzed. Mom. Dad. Missed calls. Voicemails. Guilt tried to creep in like a shadow at the edge of light. I turned my phone face down. This moment was mine. My son's. Scott's. Not theirs. Family was supposed to be who held you when the world hurt. Tonight, I learned that sometimes family is who arrives breathless at your side. Not who sits comfortably at a table pretending you are fine. I pressed a kiss to my child's head. New life. New rules. I was no longer someone's daughter trying to earn love. I was somebody's mother building a world he deserved. Morning sunlight spilled across the hospital sheets like a quiet blessing. My son slept in his bassinet, tiny chest rising, eyelashes fluttering in newborn dreams. Scott dozed in the chair beside me, head tipped back, exhaustion etched into him. We looked like love. We looked like beginning. Then the knock came. A nurse peeked in first, gentle. But behind her, two floral arrangements sat like trophies someone sent themselves. Cards tucked in the roses. Familiar handwriting. My stomach tightened. The nurse wheeled them in. "These came for you." I stared at the first card. "We figured you were fine now. Dinner was important. Do not hold grudges." Another. "We expect photos soon." No apology. Not a single one. No, how are you? No, is the baby healthy? Just entitlement in pretty ink. Scott woke, eyes scanning the flowers, face darkening. "They sent those." I nodded, jaw tight. And still no call asking about him. He stood, jaw clenched. "They do not see what they did. They refuse to." My voice felt smaller than I wanted. A vibration buzzed against the metal tray. Another voicemail. I closed my eyes and played it. Mom's voice. "Melinda, you made it dramatic. We had important company. We raised you better than to act like this. Call us." Important company. Raised me better. Then Dad. "Move on. We are family. You owe us that. Send photos. We will visit tomorrow." Scott stared at the phone like it had insulted our son. Owe them. My throat burned. They think they are entitled to him. A nurse entered again, cooing over the baby. Her presence broke the tension like a match snuffed underwater. She adjusted blankets, softening the room again. "You have everything you need?" she asked. I looked at my son. I looked at Scott. And I spoke with a certainty I had not owned before. "Yes, I do." Later, when Scott's parents visited, joy filled the space like sun. His mother cried, holding the baby like he was made of starlight. His father whispered, "Family shows up. Always." I felt something settle inside me, a piece of myself I hadn't realized was loose. That night, Scott sat beside me in the dim room. "What do you want to do?" I stared at my son, tiny fingers curled around my thumb like a promise. "I want peace," I whispered. "And they do not live where peace lives." Scott nodded, silent agreement heavy with love. My phone buzzed again. I turned it off completely this time. The silence that followed felt like fresh air in my lungs. Some bonds break loudly. Others dissolve in quiet resolve. Mine did both. My son stirred, and I lifted him gently into my arms. His warmth filled me like courage. Let them wonder why the door was locked now. They were not kept out. They walked away first. 3 days later, sunlight bathed our apartment in soft gold as we carried our son inside for the first time. The baby blanket smelled of lavender and new beginnings. I sank onto the couch, holding him against my chest. Scott set our bags down and exhaled, rubbing the back of his neck. "We made it," he whispered. For a moment, the world was quiet. Just breath, heartbeat, sleep-soft baby sighs. Then reality returned. A knock at the door. Light at first. Then harder. Scott peeked. His voice dropped. "It is them." My stomach clenched. I held our son tighter. The knocking persisted, confident, as if the world still bent to their expectations. Scott opened the door only a sliver. My mother stood there holding a huge gift bag, smile tight. My father had a balloon bouquet. Tamara lingered behind, sunglasses on like she was shielding herself from accountability. They looked like actors arriving late to a scene they assumed was waiting for them. "Where's our grandson?" Mom chirped, as if we had invited them. Scott did not step aside. "You should not be here." Mom scoffed. "Enough theatrics. Move. We are family." I stood, baby in my arms. Family shows up when it matters. Dad frowned, offended. "We had an important night. You know how opportunities work." I stared at him. "You chose opportunity over me." "Over him." Tamara rolled her eyes. "Can we not do drama?" Brian's investor meeting was huge and I needed support. "You're fine. Baby is fine. Let us see him." "He is sleeping," I said. Mom's voice sharpened. "We are his grandparents. We have rights." Something inside me froze, then cracked clean. "You lost those when you walked away." Mom stepped forward. "If you think you can deprive us of our grandchild because you threw a tantrum, you have another thing coming." The baby stirred at her raised tone. Instinct flared sharp inside me. I rocked him gently, my voice steady, quiet, lethal. "What child? You said he was not yours." Silence hit like a shockwave. My mother's face drained. Dad sputtered. Tamara looked briefly human, guilt flickering before ego smothered it. "You are emotional," Mom snapped. "We forgive you. Now step aside." Scott's voice came low and steel solid. "Leave." Dad pointed a finger at him. "You will regret cutting us out. She owes us respect." We raised her. I felt it then. Not anger. Certainty. Peace wrapped in steel. "No," I whispered. "You raised a daughter who finally knows her worth." The door closed gently but completely, and the silence afterward felt like freedom with a heartbeat. Night fell heavy, but inside our apartment a small lamp cast a soft glow over everything new and sacred. My son slept in his bassinet. Scott held me as if he could keep all the broken pieces stitched together with his arms. But the truth was, they were not broken anymore. They were rearranging. My phone buzzed again. And again. Messages. Emails. Their outrage pouring through digital space like they could claw their way back into my life by force. "You are overreacting. We did nothing wrong. We are family. This is shameful. You owe us a relationship. We will not apologize for ambition." They did not want reconciliation. They wanted access. They wanted ownership. They wanted credit for a life they never nurtured. And suddenly, the exhaustion lifted like fog. Scott reached for my phone. "Block them." I did not even hesitate. Yes. One by one. Their numbers. Their emails. Their noise. Gone. Then, unexpectedly, a different vibration. Erica calling. Her voice came warm, grounding. "Talk to me." I told her everything. The knock. The entitlement. The moment I chose us over them. She breathed out slowly. That was not losing family. That was removing something that never acted like one. I looked at my son. Tiny fingers curled. Chest rising and falling like forgiveness itself. "I thought it would hurt more," I whispered. "It hurts when you are holding on," she said. "When you let go, it makes room for love." After we hung up, Scott's mom sent pictures of baby clothes she bought. His dad sent a gentle voice note telling our son he could not wait to teach him how to fish one day. That was love. Quiet. Steady. No conditions. I picked up my son, feeling his warmth against me, his heartbeat fast and new. "You will know safety," I whispered into his hair. "You will never beg for love." Tears filled my eyes, not from pain, but release. Scott kissed my temple. You just broke a chain. I nodded. And built a door. Outside, the world continued. Cars hummed. A dog barked somewhere. Life moved on without fireworks. But inside, I felt a shift like the earth adjusting beneath me. Some endings are explosions. Some are slow closures. And some happen with the simple act of choosing yourself and never looking back. Tonight, I did not just become a mother. Tonight, I stopped being someone's daughter. Weeks passed like sunlight through water, slow and glowing. Our apartment filled with soft coos, tiny socks, formula bottles lining the counter, Scott singing off-key at dawn. Life rearranged itself in messy, beautiful pieces. And I breathed in all of it. I learned the shape of my son's cries. The softness of his sleeping sighs. How his tiny fist would wrap around my finger like trust itself. Nights were long. Mornings were tender. And love stayed steady like the hum of our refrigerator and the smell of warm blankets. Sometimes trauma's shadow tried creeping back. Memories of polished tables and dismissive laughter. But each time, I looked at my son and the shadow shrank. He did not come from their world. He came from mine. One afternoon, Scott's parents visited. His mom rocked the baby, humming lullabies like spells. His dad sat gently beside me, hand resting on his knee, voice soft. You do not need to explain your choices, he said. Good parents do not abandon their child for convenience. Ever. I nodded, heart swelling. It feels quieter without them. Quiet is how peace tells you it is real. Later, Erica stopped by with iced coffee and gossip about the city. She plopped onto the couch, laughing as my son tried to grab her hair. She leaned her head on my shoulder. You look lighter. I feel free. That is what motherhood should look like, she whispered. One day, I saw my parents' names on a community WhatsApp screenshot someone forwarded by accident. Their neighbors whispered. People pulled back. They were no longer the admired couple. They were the parents who stayed for dinner instead of their daughter's birth. Reputation cracked like porcelain. Not from my vengeance. From their truth. And I felt nothing but distance. The world they worshipped no longer had a door to mine. Months later, I sat on our porch with my son in my lap, evening breeze warm and kind. Fireflies blinked across the yard. Scott brought me tea, kissed my forehead, and sat at my feet while our baby babbled to the shadows like they were friends. I looked at them and felt something bloom in my chest, wide and soft. This was family. Built, not inherited. Safe, not forced. Present, not conditional. My son grabbed my necklace and tugged, giggling. I kissed the top of his head. You changed everything, I whispered. He looked up and blinked, like he understood. Behind us, the door stayed open. Not the one to the past. The one to our life. A life built with hands that held, not hands that pointed. A life where love arrived without conditions or competition. A life where I chose peace and peace chose me back. When my son grows up and asks about his grandparents, I will tell him the truth in the gentlest way I can. They had a seat at our table. They chose to leave it empty. And sometimes, the bravest thing you can do is not chase people who walk away. I held him close, breathing him in. We were not broken. We were beginning.